Hey brother, welcome back. Thanks for being here. For those of you who are new to this channel, I am Charlie McKeever, a happy man coach living in Austin, Texas. And we talk all about love, life, and relationship here. We talk about what it's like to be a man and what it's like to value ourselves and know our worth. We talk a lot about how that shows up in our relationships, especially our marriage, our relationship with our kids, our coworkers, our friends, our family, strangers on the street. What we're really talking about is our relationship with ourself, how we feel about ourselves. Because anytime that a man does not feel good about himself, that he does not hold himself in high regard, that he does not respect himself, he does not appreciate himself, he doesn't care for himself, he doesn't really know his worth, he looks for it outside of himself. He looks to other people in his life to tell him that he's valuable. And when he does that, he's needy. When he does that, he is dependent. When he does that, he feels powerless and he feels like a victim. And he feels like the people in his life aren't doing enough to comfort him, to make him feel the way that he wants to feel. But the problem is that he has a colander that he's asking other people in his life to fill. And in the beginning, they'll try real hard because they do care about him, because he is valuable and he is worthy of love and he is someone that they like to spend time with. But eventually you can't fill a colander. You can't. It just pours out the bottom. Everything you put in the top falls out the bottom. And eventually the people in our life become tired. They become tired of trying. And so as much as they want us to be happy and healthy and free and joyous, they can't give us those things. They can't give us those things because they don't own those things. They don't own our joy. They don't own our well-being, our happiness, our wholeness, our value, our worth. And so they can't give us the thing that we think that we need. And in fact, we think we lack it. We think that we don't have it. It's like having gloves in your pocket and walking around with your hands freezing because you've forgotten that your gloves are in your pocket, or that your glasses are on top of your head. And you're going around the house going, has anybody seen my glasses? And they're on top of your head. I know this to be true because I literally and figuratively have done those exact same things. And it wasn't until I learned that I was valuable and that I was worthy, and I came to believe it. I came to understand it, and I came to believe it, and I started to live into it, and that's where things began to change in my life. Nothing materially changed outside of me, my marriage, my bank account, my job, my friends. Nothing really significantly changed outside of me, but what changed inside of me made a whole world of difference. Because we have this shared reality outside of us, gravity, sunlight, weather, but we have a whole internal reality. And that internal reality is either heaven or hell, right? It's either sunshine and cookies or storm clouds and suffering. And only we are in control of the suffering. The pain that we experience in life, falling down, scraping our knee, that stuff is real. The suffering, though, that we experience is something that we create. We create within our own mind. And so that's what we're going to be talking about here in 2024. We've been doing that a little bit here in 2023. I've been growing out this channel and trying to get a feel for what kind of story I want to tell, what voice do I want to give this thing, what format do I want to follow, what's the best way to communicate these concepts. And I've decided that what I want to do is I want to tell my story. I want to go back to the beginning and tell the story. I'm going to pick up from 2018 when my wife said, I don't want to be married anymore. But I'm also going to go way back to being 8 years old and bring in those bits and pieces that have been significant for me, those bits and pieces that have been an essential part of my own story. The observations, interpretations, and assignments of meaning. Connecting the dots in a way that kind of tells the story of how these things have played out and how all of that was necessary to get to this point of understanding, this point of insight, this point of just being okay. And so I want to bring you with me on that journey. And that is going to mean that you and I are going to need to have a conversation. The conversation is going to happen in the comments. The conversation is going to happen in private messages. It's going to happen inside of Mentoring Men, which is my community. I'm going to reference that many times throughout the year. And you're always invited to join me over there at mentoring.men. Come and join me. There's always going to be a link in the description where you can go find out more details, where you can decide whether or not that is something that's for you, whether or not a supportive community of men where we talk about these types of things and go deep and understand ourselves and transform our thinking, transform our mind. It's always going to be on the table. It's always going to be an invitation. It's a place where you and I can talk. It's a place where you and I can be honest with each other, where we can allow ourselves to be seen, where we can have a safe place to talk about the things that we haven't been talking about all of our life, that we haven't been processing. And this conversation is going to happen a little bit at a time, and it's going to unfold throughout the year. And based on your feedback, based on some of the things that you say, the questions that you ask, that will help direct the conversation. It'll help inform some of the topics that come up. And I'll also draw from Mentoring Men. Won't mention people's names or private details. The common themes, the topics that generally come up, those things will be discussed. And they'll be discussed here in a way that helps you maybe hopefully get some understanding, maybe some insight, maybe direct you in a way that helps you to unravel some of these things for yourself. And if you want to go deeper with that, you can always message me. Go to happyman.com, fill out my consultation form. We can set up a phone call and have some time together to get to know each other and know that it's okay to talk about these things. Because I got to tell you, at some point, I realized that I couldn't do it on my own. There was a place in my life where I realized that I had been trying all my life to work out the answers, and I just hadn't gotten as far as I wanted to be, and I needed some help. And so I reached out to someone, I reached out to another man, and that changed everything for me. And I can tell you that man didn't have my answers. He had questions. He walked with me, he talked with me, listened to me. He didn't go running off screaming when I shared my truth with him. And he allowed me to surface my own answers. He allowed me to hear myself. He allowed me to question whether or not the things that I believed were true, and to come up with answers for myself about who I wanted to be and how I wanted to live. And that's a journey that continues today. It's a journey that continues to deepen and crystallize and grow. And I just enjoy this line of work. I enjoy this line of work so much that I left my 30+ year career in tech and decided that this was something that I wanted to do till I'm dirt. Walking and talking with men, being there, letting them know that they're okay and good, and that what they want is honorable, and that they're valuable and worthy, and that they can own that value and worth for themselves. So that's what we're going to be doing here on the channel. We're going to be talking about these things. I encourage you to leave your comments and send your messages, and go over to happymancoaching.com and fill out that contact form. And also consider joining me inside of Mentoring Men. Let's continue this conversation together, because wherever you are today, everything's been leading up to this point, and you don't have to be here alone. You don't have to go through this alone. And this stuff is knowable, and there is an answer. There's an answer on the other side, and you have those answers within you. And once you understand, it changes everything. All right, that's what I have for you today. I just want to invite you into that. It's going to be a great year. I'm looking forward to it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so that you'll get updates. All right, buddy. Talk to you soon.